I'm Lindira Udit. Jowelle Souza is a very good friend of mine, and I believe she is an excellent candidate, or she will be an excellent candidate for San Fernando West. She has my full support. You're welcome. Support the independent. Well, I support Jowelle Souza as a friend. I think people of San Fernando West deserve the best candidate. I think some the people of San Fernando West deserve the people who love, some person who loves San Fernando, who has always been an advocate, a fighter, someone with passion and with conviction. That's who I see in Jowelle. I know her working as an animal activist. She has consistently shown a love for San Fernando and its survivors. And I think at this time, San Fernando deserves somebody like Jowelle to represent.
What do you suppose would give her the edge over the other candidates?
The fact that she is a known San Fernandian, I think the fact that she's not a visiting candidate, she doesn't come several times for the week or a month. She lives here. She's part of the culture of San Fernando. She's part of the face of San Fernando. And I think Trinidad and Tobago really is looking for candidates who can represent them, not just be a candidate in name. People want good representation, and I think Jowelle will do that.
Will you be speaking on the podium tonight?
Yes.
And in a nutshell, what message you'll be bringing to people of San Fernando? Because we see people being torn by the PNM and by the UNC and so on.
Well, I don't know the question. What
in a nutshell, what message will you send out to San Fernandians?
Follow your heart. The people of Trinidad and Tobago and in San Fernando, yeah, they need to follow conviction. They need to follow things that are good and not just do what is tribal. I think so far, I've always spoken about that we can no longer continue with tribal type of voting, and things like blind loyalty and blind allegiance just makes you blind, right? So at the end of the day, candidates who are coming forward like Jowelle, there are others, but I give my support to Jowelle Souza, and I really wish that she prospers and she does a lot of good things. Her private and professional life so far is tantamount to her success and her determination to make San Fernando a better place. And I would really like to see that continue at the parliamentary level.
What are your views on the recent developments that the PNM candidate was involved in a fundraiser at the City Corporation's Carnival City phone was being used to...
Well, I did read the report in the newspaper. I saw where City Corporation phone number, and from what I understand, they have admitted that they did use that. I think that is unethical. I think it is highly irregular and inappropriate, and both the corporation and the candidate ought to have known better. But I think it does not augur well for any person who is now entering into the political fray to already start using state resources for selfish reasons. I really don't. Faris Harari is a person I have tremendous respect for. He was a colleague in the Senate. And so I have absolutely nothing against Faris. He and I have a very good relationship, but I think that particular action is very inappropriate and unethical.
Thank you.
Welcome.
Ready.
Introduce yourself first, please.
Jowelle Souza, candidate for San Fernando West.
So we see Lindira has shown her support behind you. Are there any more surprises in the making?
Well, I think we have much more surprises in the making, yes. And I think that you will see many more people coming out to support independence. because of the fact that, as you can see with Hamid Ghani saying that, it's a growing amount of people that are not very happy with both sides of the house, with both sides of the fence, with both sides of the political landscape that we have. You are seeing more and more every day. People are voicing their opinions. The numbers are going up with the fact that people are not supporting the ruling parties, and they are now throwing their support behind the independents.
If you win the election, what do you plan to do to help the LGBT society? Or is there anything that you plan to do to assist that community in the country?
Well, as you know, I have been working with that they have endorsed me, and I have been working with them. Not because of who I am, I went to candidate for Diego Martin at his launch 2 weeks ago, and his relative, his son, actually, they also very much involved in that, and they're just normal people. So I think a lot of youths and a lot of people who are thinking first world are looking at all of that. As you know, Bill Clinton won his second term. He's in the military.
So that is one of your major priorities, should it be?
Well, it is, of course. I think that the rights of everybody should be the rights of everybody. So I am very much involved in all of that.
One more question. Kevin Barley wrote a column, right, saying that while you support the rights of everybody and the rights of the LGBT society, he's saying that you are not supportive of the right of a woman to choose in terms of abortion. How do you respond to that?
Well, I always try to stay away from that topic because I myself do not like abortion. I have never liked that. Hence the reason why I have 12 dogs, So that's why I've stayed away from that question, because ask me any other question that I just don't like that question. I believe that is for that individual to decide. So that's why I stay away. And he can say what he wants, but I choose to stay away from that question because I don't believe in it.
Thank you.
Yeah. I welcome him, Is there anybody that can make a difference? We have to, for sure.
Great. Right. Couple of closer, please.
Just for the records, just tell us the name, just for the records.
Philip Edward Alexander.
Portfolio.
Running for Diego Martin West as an independent candidate.
So tell me, why did you decide to show your support behind Jowelle tonight?
Well, Jowelle is a strong independent candidate. We've been having discussions with a view towards helping any independent candidates that come up. The country is crying out for change. We can't continue doing the exchange model, the third-party system not working. What we understand is people want representation that works, that delivers at the constituency level. And as the House of Representatives is set up for 41 independents, we hope to influence that and assist any and all independents that step up. And Jowelle is doing a very good job of flying the flag for the independent movement.
But do you suppose that our country is mature enough to move away from tribal politics?
Absolutely. We were on a panel discussion Sunday gone, and right after us, a very well-known political analyst came on after, and he said that the advent of social media and the independent movement cannot be quantified, the impact it's going to have on this election.
So how much seats do you predict?
As of now, we know that there are 9 very good, strong candidates, and as things like this happen, what we had last week Wednesday got a lot of good press, got a very good response. And as Joelle's event and other events that we know, Errol Fabian is back on board, Robert Amar threw his hat in the ring. I'm hearing talks, Louis Leasing may be going up for Port of Spain South. I've even heard Amory Brown talking about it, if they reject him in Diego Martin Central, that he may be going as an independent. There are other names that have been sidelined politically, powerful names like Penelope Beckles. We hope to encourage her and other strong constituency-minded representative people to come back into the political arena. The two-party system shouldn't be the controllers of the politics. Somebody asked me today, if I don't eat fish or fowl, and fish and fowl is the only thing on the menu, what's my choices?
What are some of the challenges you're facing on the campaign trail?
Well, being an independent, you don't have the support systems, the massive support systems, the huge war chests that the established political parties have. So you have to be a little more creative. Of course, Trinidad is famous, I guess, for our scandalous, slandering politics. So we who are going up independent, we're getting it from both sides.
So it's a coalition of the independents?
I don't think a coalition is the word that we want to use. All of the independents are going to remain authentically independent, answerable only to their constituency. At best, we may form an independent network where we can assist each other, share synergies. We want to educate the population as to why to vote independent, and I think that a network of independents could speak to that. We also want to champion certain causes within the parliament, like such as recall legislation. That is the most important piece of legislation that's outstanding. We think that that should be brought to the parliament as soon as possible, as well as, of course, we've been talking about term limits for the longest while, fixed election dates, and other things that would broaden and deepen the democracy. At the end of the day, the independent network is the only way forward to do that.
So specifically, saying that you all don't have the machinery that the other parties have, specifically, how are you all reaching out to people? Because we're saying in the polls, we have a great group of people who are neither here nor there.
Yeah, I think the polls reflective. We've been doing our research, and in some of the constituencies, there's this 30-30-30 model. And a lot of the times, most of the candidates are voted in by 30% of the population, and the voting population of a constituency. That means a whole big set of people just not interested in the process. Can they be motivated between either the two parties? It doesn't seem so. This is the first time we've been witnessing polls where neither of the parties are clearly. The public is saying they don't want this, they want something else. The only other option now is an independent movement.
But how are you all tapping into that group and reaching them?
Social media helps a lot. What you find though is there are push strategies and pull strategies. Push strategies are when you go to the population, you take your message to them. Pull strategies are strategies that allow for people to come to you and get involved. We all, in San Fernando West especially, we're building up teams in the communities, team captains, people to mobilize and to get people interested. We're having cottage meetings door to door. We're going for 2, sometimes 3 a week. We're going to be walking about in the constituencies. We're going to be raising issues to the constituents themselves. We're going to be exposing the shortcomings of the party system where the constituency fails to get what it's supposed to get out of the share of the national budget.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Accidents on the highway, and we were waiting on some of our guest speakers. So we do understand that, of course, we have this one road coming down to south, so we need to bear with that. We do apologize. We're about to begin, and I would just like to welcome, first of all, our speakers onto the stage. If we could have all of our guest speakers, if you could please just stand, and we'd like to welcome you up on stage to start. Thank you, and if we can all stand for our national anthem. A very special evening here in San Fernando West. We take the time to welcome everyone, all of our panel speakers, our guests and friends from San Fernando West and other constituencies, and most importantly, you, the residents of San Fernando West, who are here with us this evening. Many of you are wondering what's our message tonight, and I would like to sum it up in one line, our message is one which will be of the people, for the people, and most certainly by the people. For too long, we have witnessed degradation in our homeland, and it has been eating away at the very moral fabric of our society. It matters not which political party is in power, because we are now at a crossroads in our political landscape. Over the years, we, the citizens of Trinidad and Tobago, have been led down a path that is very wide and inviting. It is a superficial one that's masking what appears to be progress, one where we see physical infrastructure being put in place at exorbitant prices, a path from which we have transgressed from our unity that led us to our successful and very peaceful independence from Great Britain in 1962, to one of race and social class politics, to the haves and the have-nots, to the rum and roti politics, one where candidates take to platforms with imported crowds to fool the media and the rest of the country. One thing is for sure tonight, this is a free event and we are all here of our own free will. We have witnessed the desecration of our basic institutions, our homes, our families, our jobs, our places of worship, you name it. Anyway, we won't be going down there tonight. This path that we have been on, my friends, is not one to tread anymore, because it is littered only with smoke and mirrors. Don't be fooled by any government who claims that they have built homes, schools, hospitals, and roads for its people, because it is their job to do so, regardless of which side of the platform they are coming from. They are supposed to provide for us, be it through free education, academic or trade-based, access to sustainable jobs and social services, with enough strategically placed recreation facilities for our youth to enjoy. We were fortunate a couple of weeks ago to attend a launch of another independent candidate in Diego Martin, and we heard a cry from the young people. We hear the same cry here in San Fernando West. We hear it in Arima, we hear it in Mayaro, we hear it everywhere. What are we providing for our young people? So what we do every year, every 5 years, is that we come out and we execute our civic duty and we hope for the best. We elect our MPs to be our voice in Parliament. So they're supposed to be in Parliament, not walking out when there is anything that they're not happy with. What happens? Do we see our MPs when we vote them into power? How many of us can say that we see them, that we can call them or call the office, make an appointment, and go see them to discuss something that is not right in our community? I don't think anyone here can say that confidently. We know from our walkabouts here in San Fernando West and through our cottage meetings that this has been the case here for many, many years, regardless of the party that's in power. MPs come and they go, but the problems always remain. We may see short-term relief, depending on how deep the party pockets go, and we know some are perhaps endless. But our question to you tonight, what happens when that envelope is empty? What happens when the handouts that you are given, either directly or indirectly, what happens when you spend it? After that election, what happens? And that is so true. The party will be definitely done at that point in time, at least for another 5 years. Part of the problem that we face in our constituencies is the lack of leadership and proper governance. It might be that our MP is not from the area, and so they have a severe disconnect with the real problems on the ground. It could also be that our MP is holding a ministerial post, and this is something that we, the independents, have said all throughout our meetings, that an MP cannot hold a ministerial post. How can the person you elect look after the constituency and hold a ministerial post? Can a person be a practicing doctor and lawyer simultaneously? I don't think so. They're both very demanding. They come with their own challenges, and most certainly one practice will suffer, and this is what we have been seeing in Trinidad and Tobago. So the metamorphosis that we are currently witnessing on our political landscape is one where the emergence of individuals as independent candidates has grabbed the nation's attention. Let us be clear on one issue. What you see here is not a union or a party partnership or any alliance. The candidates who will be emerging to serve the members of the areas are and will remain independent candidates for their respective constituencies. But it is prudent that we harness the unique individual synergies that each independent will bring in a very collaborative manner to educate the population about the alternative to the traditional party politics. So let us not misunderstand when we work and support each other in our common goal of standing independent on election day. And without further ado, I would like to call on our first speaker tonight. He's a son of the soil. He has studied in the UK, where he was called to the bar. He started a career that feels with his calling. Sorry about that. He started a career that he feels was his calling because the need to represent those without a voice is very critical. Before returning to Trinidad, he worked at the Professional Standards Authority in London and held various positions at local authorities. He served as an independent member of the Standards Advisory Board, where he successfully promoted high standards of conduct by those in public office. He was also a tribunal representative, where he prepared and presented appeals to the Special Educational Needs Tribunal on behalf of parents of children with special needs. Please welcome Denzel Johnson.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. As the first speaker, I have the honor of leading us in prayer. So may I kindly ask you all to stand. Oh Lord, we are thankful for all the opportunities you give to us, especially this opportunity to come together, to work together, to make a difference in San Fernando West and our country. We pray that you will look over these proceedings and they will be in accordance to your glorification. Thank you for being with us. This is our prayer. In your name. Amen. You may take your seats. The era of single-party government is over. This is the era of coalition government. We presently have a coalition government, and as you know, and both major parties well know, when the general elections take place, no party is likely to win the outright majority necessary to govern alone. And we must know by now that political change cannot come from simply choosing option A or option B. And we certainly know that meaningful electoral reform cannot be expected from the major parties. We must therefore ask ourselves, what can voters do themselves to create reform? What can I do? Jowelle is here to remind you that you have the power, the vote, and it is both your right and, under our current circumstances, your duty to vote for non-major party candidates. This is especially important at a time when there is likely to be a hung parliament, or where no party wins outright. A hung parliament, or even a small majority for either party, would increase the importance of independent MPs, as every vote will matter. And with San Fernando West being a marginal seat, your vote is all the more important. You will be the biggest beneficiary of this new era of independent representation. The role of an independent member of parliament is to represent their electorate, the people who put them there, to achieve the best results from government for their constituents. Independents are able to vote according to their convictions and the will of their electorate, whereas members who belong to political parties are expected to follow the party line when making decisions in Parliament. Independent members of Parliament are in a position to hold the balance of power when a vote is taken in Parliament. When this is the case, the government will have limited options and is more likely to negotiate with the independent member in an attempt to ensure their support. An independent might even have the power to determine which major political party forms the government, as happened in Australia in the 1990s. Do you see the important role you play here in San Fernando West? Can you see the difference independent representation makes? Jowelle's representation of this constituency is not defined or shaped by a party, but by you, the people she represents. When elected to Parliament, she would be free to carve out her own role, and she has no interest in being a minister, serve but and to secure your interests. Jowelle Souza is the forerunner of a more modern, mature, and balanced political system. She is sincerely concerned about doing things differently, correctly, and making a difference. She has resolved to tackle the challenges San Fernando West faces. She will work hard for the common good of the people of San Fernando West and for the national interest. She recognizes that we will only make progress if we help people to come together to make life better. This independent candidate offers the potential to recast the relationship between people and the state. Citizens will be empowered, individual opportunities will be extended, where communities come together to make a difference. Jowelle is inspired by the values of equality, fairness, participation, and responsibility. She wants power and responsibility in the hands of every citizen. She believes that it is time for a fundamental shift of power from career politicians to the people in San Fernando West. She believes that there are many barriers to social mobility and equal opportunities in our country today, with too many children held back because of their social background, and too many people of all ages held back because of their gender, class, or private lifestyle. We need concerted government action to break down these barriers and help to build a fairer society. Jowelle will advocate for much greater cooperation across party lines and changes to our political system to make it fair and more transparent and accountable. That is why she represents a golden opportunity for an era-changing, convention-challenging, radical reform. Ladies and gentlemen, for those of you who only know the public Jowelle, the polished and sophisticated Jowelle, that's not the real Jowelle. She's not about gallery or show, she's about getting the job done. For those of you who know her and spend time with her, you will know about the many people who come to her for practical help, and that she never turns away or disappoints any. Behind the scenes, she rolls up her sleeves and works, but she doesn't publicize that part of her life. She doesn't boast about it. She works quietly and effectively to help people with real issues in times that matter. The work of an independent is not an easy one, but Jowelle has shown that she has the political courage to stand up and to make a difference. Do you? Thank you.
Denzel. I'm not sure about anybody else in the crowd, but when he started with the prayer, I was thrown back to the 1980s in primary school when we would have to say our prayers. I went to a Catholic primary school, and we would always begin and end the day with a prayer. And this points specifically to our upbringing. How much do we rever the basic things, whatever that religion may be? Do we keep it still in our homes today? Or as I mentioned earlier, our places of worship are just a place where people can use them for other purposes. Our second speaker is a young Southerner. He's a recent graduate of Naparima College, and he intends to pursue a career in law next year. He gives most of his time to assisting the community and youth groups within the area, and he's no stranger to those who need a helping hand. Let us please welcome Nivan Benimado.
Members of the head table, friends, and well-wishers. I believe that greatness is courage. Greatness is determination to accept the hardest challenges. Greatness is to be willing to fight for something that is worth fighting for. Greatness is humility. Jowelle de Souza embodies greatness. Jowelle is a remarkable person, truly one of a kind. And I endorse her without a second thought because I am well aware of how committed and capable she is. She has a track record of being a trailblazer. Anything that people said couldn't be done, she did. She's a pioneer and will take San Fernando West to where it rightfully deserves to be. Yeah. Believing in Jowelle didn't start when she decided that she was going to contest this seat. I have seen Ms. de Souza do amazing things for people for years. I knew then, and I know now, that she did it not because she had to, but because Jowelle has always been someone who cares for people, someone who can get any job done, and someone who has a heart of gold. I think that sometimes I forget who the current MP is for San Fernando West. If you spend half hour at Here by Jowelle, you'd realize that apart from her day job, Jowelle works with people across this country to get things done, to solve problems, and to change lives. I have a story that I would like to share with you this evening. About 2 weeks ago, I witnessed something that made my paws raise. At 10:30 p.m., a man hit a pit bull in Palm East. Upon hearing of the incident, Jowelle left her home at that time after a full day of campaigning. It was a large dog and 3 young men and 2 police officers who had seen but weren't sure of what to do or how to approach the dog, which was stuck in a large drain. On arriving there, Jowelle jumped into the drain and lifted the dog straight out, every jaw dropped. Without even a second thought of soiling her clothes or endangering herself because it was a clearly agitated animal, Jowelle saved the day and the dog's life. She even went home to get chow, medication, and money to pay the vet, all without wanting anything in return. Everyone there was blown away by her heroic nature and her genuine care for the animal. Someone so selfless, someone who has always given a voice to the voiceless, deserves to hold office, as many people in our land, despite being educated, do not have a real voice and are not given opportunities, real opportunities. Let Jowelle save San Fernando West from the doghouse. Jowelle has previously indicated how firm her commitment is to her job as an MP. She is willing to give it the time and effort that it deserves, something that many contenders will not be able to boast of. Due to the fact that ministries often take precedence once someone is the holder of both offices. 2 offices that both opponents are geared at holding. This leads to my next point. Why an independent candidate? An independent candidate does not have to follow the instructions of a party, bodies that are without a doubt run by the capitalist financiers. The decisions that independent candidates make are not based on political affiliation or financial obligation, but rather the people that he or she represents. Politicians today have often lost touch with those on the ground, and sometimes even their own ideas and ideals cannot see the light of day due to being stifled by the rank and file of party. This is not to say that they do not have good ideas, plans, or ideals, but merely that they cannot execute it due to their political affiliation. Jowelle will not be contaminated by anyone else's opinion. Her voice will be the one in the parliament that will echo your concerns, that will speak for you, and trust you me, one voice has always made a difference. Let us look at the bigger picture. Having Jowelle, an independent, in this election elected into office is the start of a metamorphosis in politics in Trinidad and Tobago. We need to look at the following election, where more may put themselves forward, and we will have, as the time progresses, we will have more independent voices in both the lower and upper houses, where the decisions that affect each of our lives are made. The tide is turning, the political tide, and we all have a role to play. As an MP, Jowelle's role does not end at the borders of this constituency. She will help to shape how this country develops through her role as a legislator in our parliament. It is without a doubt in my mind that someone who has proven to be so successful in every pursuit of her life, despite the obstacles that have and will always be hurled at her, will be a fine addition to any parliament. An astute businesswoman, an advocate for human and animal rights, and someone who really cares, Jowelle de Souza. Finally, as a young person, I would like to call on my brothers and sisters to get involved in the politics. The decisions that we make today will directly dictate our future, a choice that will affect our lives for at least 5 years. So now is the time, and here is the one. I know that like myself, many of you have been disheartened by the party politics, the mudslinging, and the political climate that we have all grown to know. But I must remind you that change is here, and it does start with us. So come, be a part of new politics, of politics for the people, and of the start of proper representation in this country. Vote for the independent. Vote for Jowelle de Souza. Thank you.
Thank you, Nivan. Our next speaker perhaps may not need an introduction. He's a social and political activist, the founder and chairman of the Jericho Project, a humanitarian relief organization which, besides advocating for the orphans and disabled and homeless in our society, also assists in times of crisis, most notably the 2 devastating floods that occurred in Diego Martin. He was very instrumental and a driving force behind the Diego Martin highway bypass route, as well as other projects in Diego Martin. Let us welcome the independent candidate for Diego Martin West, Mr. Philip Alexander.
Good evening, San Fernando West. Okay, all protocols observed. Errol, Indira, Victoria, Jowelle. Colin Hamilton, chairman for Diego Martin West. We thought we were going to be late because the police closed the highway at Claxton Bay because a truck ran off the road. So, I have the honor, let me say hello to Diego Martin West people, so many in the audience. Yeah, they say some people don't find sound, plenty of them find sound tonight. Well done. When I got here, there was so much cars I couldn't find a parking spot, so I went beyond Joelle's building. And I saw an empty driveway similar to hers that I turned into. And then I saw the sign of where I turned into. And I realized this is not a good place for me to park. Who knew that in San Fernando West, her challenger, her opponent will come and open 2 buildings down the road? In anybody ever endorsed Jowelle, that is an endorsement. I mean, I'm afraid you're bad, Jowelle. And we were talking about it because just a couple of weeks ago, the candidate for San Fernando West opened an office about 4 buildings down from us. And the office came out of nowhere. It's an abandoned little building. And I have been told that Keith Rowley is so confused that he actually opened that office in Martin Central. Because the Martin Main Road is the boundary. And everything on the western side is Martin West, and everything on the eastern side is Martin Central. So, to the people behind the Keith Rowley campaign, I want to ask you all to go and check where exactly he running for. But I am here to speak to a couple issues. I made some notes in my phone, so if you see me scrolling, that's what I'm doing. Her opponent, Faris Al-Rawi, has been immortalized. I used to call him Captain ad hominem. For the first couple of years that Faris burst onto the scene, every time he spoke, ad hominem, ad hominem. I'd go on TV and I'd ask, he says, that's the only Latin phrase Faris knows. They published that in the papers and he never ad hominem again. The second thing he immortalized in this country is this. Pocket Square. That Pocket Square, I own 2. I only own 2 because of Faris Al-Rawi. I went to a store in Westmore, Solomon's, nice store. I keep promising to plug them. They sold me these 2 Pocket Squares. The girl in charge of that store knows everything about clothes, men's clothes. So I said, Faris Al-Rawi keeps talking about this thing that he wears in his pocket. What is this? She said, that's a pocket square. I said, well, what's a pocket square? She said, well, it's just for flair. It don't serve no purpose. And at that moment, I understood Faris Al-Rawi's role in the politics. Just for flair. Just like this. It don't serve no purpose. Which brings me back to his partner in crime, Al-Rawi. We had a little town hall meeting in San Fernando West. We caused no earthquake like last night. Yeah, a small thing. Lo and behold, 2 days later, Al-Rawi find himself in Massacre Park in St. Augustine, calling up my name in his mouth. Telling the country that he's instructed his lawyers to read all of my writings, and if I have slandered him, to sue Philip Alexander. I went on the radio the next morning to say, we are waiting. Because I want you to sue me, Keith Rowley. I want that pre-action protocol letter so bad. Because the moment you sue me, I will sue you back. And lock you in that court so you can't run away like you run away from the parliament. And you will answer the questions once and for all. You will answer in the courthouse. And you will have to answer. So like the character from the movie, the good, the bad, and the ugly, Tuko, who said, when you come to shoot, shoot, don't talk. If you're going to sue me, don't talk. Send the letter. Because you're reaching Massacre Park in St. Augustine and plenty time pass. So I don't know if your lawyer's incompetent. How long will it take to read, to find out if you slander somebody? But that brings me to the point I want to make. These fellas are approaching the politics from 2 positions, and I have noticed that. Control and fear. Control, you all notice that anybody that Keith Rowley can't control, they get cut? Every single one. The Keith Rowley that all over Trinidad talking about Mary King get fired Donald Cox. Mary King get fired for something. I want to ask Keith Rowley,
What Donna Cox get fired for? The same kid Rowley talking about Anna Ramlogan get fired. Anna Ramlogan get fired for something. What Nylon get fired for? What Alicia Hospitales get fired for? Fitzgerald Jeffries, every brown poor fellow walking up and down the Martin Central like a poor one looking for a place. What he get fired for? I'll tell you. Control. Al Rowley and Al Rawi want to run the PNM politics by control and fear. So we get a bunch of OJTs on the job trainees being given to you as candidates for the PNM and telling you that those are better options than the people who were serving you before, and you're supposed to be so stupid you don't question that. That Stuart Young and Avinash Singh and Diane Baldio, J.D. Singh and Terence Dial Singh and sing, all better than who was there before. When all of us know the only difference is all of them wear a Balize tie. And anything that Rowley Freyd get cut. And so he wants to go on the platform and call everybody name and threaten to sue them, to put fear in their heart and silence them. And I want to tell you something, Keith Rowley. Since you talking, Masika Park is now I talking. You can't frighten me away nowhere. This is the time of the independent movement. Authentic servants of the constituencies. This is the time for Diego Martin West and San Fernando West and Port of Spain South and Toco Manzanilla to get the representation they deserve. This is the time for St. Joseph, Sour, Barrett, listen, people, it's up to you now, you know. Because Faris Al-Rawi and Keith Al-Rowley, somebody tell me call him Suzanne, because he's suing everybody. Suzanne Rowley. No, but seriously, Keith Al-Rowley, which one is it? The two of them, sorry, the two of them, they want to tell Trinidad and Tobago that they are changed. Keith Rowley and his band of OJTs supposed to be changed. But I want to tell Trinidad and Tobago something. I have the honor tonight to speak on a platform with Jowelle Souza, who is the living embodiment of change. This brave little person here, when I hear her speak, and I look at the challenges that she's faced, and the hurdles that she's overcome, and the fact that she is so willing to get up in your face and speak truth to power, I say, if I wasn't running for election, I was moving for San Fernando West. I want a candidate like that. I want a representative like that. And I want to be a representative like that. So I want to tell you something. When the election bell ring, tell yourself this, people of San Fernando West, say no to pocket square politics. So we want change. We want real representation. Call your friends and your family, text and email them and tell them, start to listen to what is being said on the independent movement. Because the independents are coming to deliver you your democratic voice finally. And by putting Jowelle Souza in the house for San Fernando West, you can be guaranteed you will be represented. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Philip. He's clearly very passionate, as we all are, about delivering true democracy to Trinidad and Tobago. We do have another guest again, and she has been active in politics since 1999. She started her career with the then MP of San Fernando West, Sadiq Bash, and she has seen Trinidad and Tobago through many different political lenses, both in government and opposition. She has great faith in the changing tides of right-thinking citizens of Trinidad and Tobago, and in the power of the common man to change the nation. Let us please welcome Ms. Lindira Udit.
Thank you very much and good night. Members of the head table, candidate Jowelle Souza, friends and and well-wishers, fellow Southerners. It is always, always a pleasure. I think tonight is an inspiring and beautiful night. Small but powerful. I've always believed that passion and conviction must be grounded in courage. Tonight I see it very clearly in the person of Jowelle de Souza. I believe we give life to our words by the actions that we take. If we want a better country, we have to fashion it from what lies within us. Passion, faith, courage, fearlessness. These lie within us and shape who we are and ultimately the society we want. For me, character is revealed not so much when we speak, but rather when we act. I stand here this evening as a friend and as a fellow Southerner in support of the action of Jowelle de Souza, a true Trini Southerner to the bone. I stand in support of someone who understands our Southern heartland, someone who lives and breathes Southern air and has consistently been an advocate for a better San Fernando. I stand in support of her grit and her passion. For me, Jowelle de Souza is a believer. Her faith in this country is solid and unwavering. She believes in what Trinidad and Tobago is and what it can become. Trinidad and Tobago is a blessed country. It is a bountiful land. It is a wise and holy place. The sons and daughters of Trinidad and Tobago can stand with the best of any nation. Of this, I am certain we are capable and we are competent. But even more, in her bid to become the next representative for San Fernando West, Jowelle sees San Fernando with clarity and with the highest expectations. Her vision for San Fernando is tied to purpose and action. And more than ever, this is what our beautiful city requires. Jowelle lives what she believes. Her strength of conviction weaves a pattern throughout her life. I am certain that should the opportunity be given, she will represent San Fernando West with pride and with excellence, trademarks of everything she undertakes. Her national award last year is testament of unflinching dedication to a better Trinidad and Tobago. The government's national recognition, in my mind, must be acknowledged. It is timely as well as unprecedented. Hats off both to the bestowers and to the recipient. San Fernando deserves a San Fernandian who will seep it with passion and vigor, one who will be unafraid to walk anywhere in San Fernando. San Fernando deserves someone who will fight for her vitality. San Fernando, our landmark city, the jewel of the South, the historic and spiritual site of sacred Amerindian traditions, our melting pot of Southern distinction and style. San Fernando needs more, like Jowelle, to help realize her brightest and most glorious future. Like so many here tonight, I believe our country, and most importantly, the South, is on the verge of unprecedented development. A bright future awaits. Those who are to shape this new future must be those with courage, with vitality, and with a deep and unwavering love for Trinidad and Tobago. Like Jowelle, like so many here tonight, today, without a doubt, I know I stand among patriots. Another Latin phrase, Philip, e pluribus unum. It means out of many will come one. And tonight there may be just a few, smaller in numbers, but out of this, one movement, one power, one voice that will take San Fernando by storm. We may not always agree. In fact, we come from different areas. But tonight I see patriots. I see brave men and women who care little for rhetoric. I see many who can shape a powerful tomorrow.
And as long as we put God and country in front, then our actions will indeed matter. Wherever the political platforms may lead tonight, I am very proud to give my support to you, Jowelle. May God continue to bless you, my friend. And may God continue to bless us all with faith, compassion, courage, and fearlessness as we all push forward in building a greater and greater nation of Trinidad and Tobago.
She is truly a friend indeed. Our next speaker was born in Gonzales Village, Guapo Point Fortin, and also attended Naparima College, where he discovered his passion for acting. Over the past 25 years, he has been involved in many aspects of the performing arts. He is an actor, presenter, writer, producer, MC, comedian, and director for stage, radio, and television. He served as president of the National Drama Association of Trinidad and Tobago, and he also started Trinidad's first community television station, Gael, the channel. He is still today the executive director. He has offered himself as an independent candidate in the by-elections for St. Joseph in 2013, and he is offering himself again as an independent candidate in the 2015 upcoming elections for St. Joseph.
Thank you very much. Good night, Joel. How are you doing? Good. It's good to be here. All your good night? All your good night? Good night! Just like me, I like to feel energy, you know. It's good to be in San Fernando West. I went to school here in San Fernando West. 5 glorious years of my life. But let me tell you, you hear a whole set of things as this, as that, as the next. Really and truly, I'm just a very, very serious citizen of the most beautiful republic in the world, the Republic of Trinidad. That's what I am. I'm a citizen of this country. And I was born here. I was really lucky to be born here because I was born into a very, very rich nation, a very wealthy nation, you know. But when I drive around and move around and talk with people, I don't feel as though I'm in a wealthy nation, you know. I feel as though I'm in a nation that catching its tail, and that is not where I was born. You know, each one of us is entitled to 1.5 millionth of the national wealth. And I don't find mine being spent on me at all. I don't know how they feel about it, but I don't find that mine being spent on me at all. When I walk down High Street, I see destitute people. I don't feel them on being spent on them at all, because them entitled to the same amount, the same cut of the pie as me, and the same cut of the pie as the people who find themselves in government in the Republic of Trinidad and Tobago. But I get a sense, I get a feeling that these people have a feeling that all wealth belongs to them. And when the ruling party on one side and the opposition on the next side, neither of them does really contest the other, because they're waiting for their turn to do unto the other as was done to them. Yeah. And that cycle is propelling us downhill and we're pedaling fast. That is how I feel. In 2013, I found that I was sick and fed up with the conversation in our parliament. And I tell myself, because my father teach me good, you know. My father was a very disciplined man. He was a primary school principal, Andrew Fabian. That's my father. And we never really had anything other than talk about the building of this country. He's a serious, serious man. God rest his soul. And I tell myself, and I hear my father's voice in my ears, Errol, you're only complaining and complaining. What are you prepared to do? what have you done lately for the Republic of Trinidad and Tobago? And I've asked myself that every day, and I urge you all to ask yourselves that too. What have you done today, this week, this month, this year, for this beautiful republic that we gather so many times in so many situations to say that we love? What have you done? And if you can't start counting things, get up, put on a hard hat, and start to work for the peace. That poster should have the face of everybody in San Fernando West on it, working. Because that is what we have to do in this country now. So in 2030, when I ask myself, I say to myself, self, you're only talking. Get up and start the walking. You know I just walk. I love to walk. So I decided I will not just walk, I will run for the seat of St. Joseph, for the constituency. Yeah? Full speed ahead, real excitement and thing, boy, bam. Stupid, I was stupid, I didn't know. I didn't know all that it takes, and I didn't realize all of the consequences that come with it. I didn't realize that my state, my conviction of being able to stand alone, even if there have nobody behind me, would be brought into focus. When I ran for St. Joseph in 2013, let me tell you, it was a great personal sacrifice, because I don't believe in taking campaign funding and them kind of thing, them big money from big company and thing, though I had offers. I had offers from parties to join them. They say, use the best candidate, come with me. I say, if I was the best candidate, left me. Don't run, don't put nobody, left me, if I was the best candidate. I don't know if you know, but as a freelance entertainer, I wait for the phone to ring to put things in my diary. That's how I know I'm going to pay my mortgage and see about my children and things. And I'm a single father of 7, I will tell you. So I wait for that phone to ring because I have mouths to feed and education to pay for. And generally, I do well. My calendar is generally full. I don't have weekends that I don't have a job here or somewhere else. And when I announced my candidacy in 2013, my phone started ringing even more from the people who ran before to say, sorry, we cannot use you for our event. We have to cancel you because of your position. Because I want to stand up and be a voice in Parliament for people in my constituency, I was punished by corporate Trinidad and Tobago. Free work, because I'm a storyteller. Free work to want a children's story. They call me and tell me they can't have me at the event because of the decision I have made. Well, you know what? That's all right. Because I believe in what I stand for. And even if there's nobody behind me standing up, I believe in what I stand for. And this evening I'm here to tell you, I believe in what Jowelle de Souza stands for. And I can see from this evening that she is not standing alone. And I urge you to roll up your sleeves. Get your picture taken too, because you and I have work to do. If we do not roll up our sleeves, there is no political party prepared to roll up their sleeves to ensure our well-being. We have to ensure our well-being for ourselves. As independents, we will not form a government. The UNC or the PNM will. But with independence in your parliament, we can raise a voice on your behalf. We can tell them, hold on, not so fast. We can ask hard questions, and we can start turning this country in a direction that we would like to see our country go. The job is not an easy job, but it's a job that has to be done. And let me tell you, I am fixing for a fight. My friends, I know you come from all parts of Trinidad here this evening, and if there is no independence in your constituency, take a long, hard look in the mirror and ask yourself if you're okay with that. And if you're not, stand up. Stand up like a man. Stand up like a woman. Stand up like a citizen of the Republic of Trinidad and Tobago. Stand up like Jowelle de Souza and Philip and all the other independents. Stand up and be an independent in your constituency. Let your voice be heard and urge people to stand up. My friends, it's time for us to wake up. God bless you all and thank you.
humble beginnings in San Fernando. She has always been a person whose life is an open book. By nature, she is a giving, loyal, humble, and very down-to-earth person. Those who know her knows that she stands firmly by her choices, which are always well thought through. Her passion for hairdressing and hard work has seen her business grow from a humble place on Montchagrin Street to this establishment that we are here tonight at. Her love for animals and dedication to seeing the family of animals alive culminated with her receiving the Hummingbird Bronze Medal in 2014 for community service. Let us put our hands together and welcome Miss Jowelle.
Tonight I want to thank all of you. I have my friends, my independent friends, Lindira, Animals Alive, family. I want to say tonight that it brings me great privilege to see that so many people have come out in support. I know that we have asked many of you to support us and support what our intentions are. Our intentions are, as independents, to bring real representation to you. I want to tell you that for too long we have had both sides of the political landscape holding government and holding both local and central government. And what have we gotten? I went to Philip's constituency in Diego Martin, where the opposition leader holds the seat. And I will tell you, I was not impressed. I did not even know Keith Rowley held that seat, because everyone there on our way up spoke of Philip Alexander. I want to tell you that I saw people that I never thought would come out to support Philip or to support an independent there. And so tonight it's telling me here, when I see some of you, that you are all ready and you understand why it is so important with an independent. Because we don't have to toe party lines. I have heard 2 MPs that have sat in San Fernando West this week come to my shop to ask me if I would either join them or if I would either endorse them. And I can tell you, we surely have learned from the best. We have pictures of that. And I want to tell you what 2 of those MPs told me. They told me that the reason why they could not develop San Fernando, both holding UNC, both holding PNM, is that because they have been choked. I am telling you, when you are given 5 years of a job as an MP, no way you could be held back from doing what you want, whether in office or not. When I hear an MP who is hired for 5 years and cannot be fired for 5 years saying that I cannot do what I want for you because I have to toe the party lines, I am telling you, me, Errol, and Philip, we do not have to do that. We can make the difference here in this country, because no longer would independent offices of Trinidad and Tobago no longer would be, they would be filled. We would demand that they be filled, and we all have a stake in who fills those positions. We are looking at all of the independent bodies for the last 2 elections. We are saying to them, the positions have never been filled. We always have acting, because we know that the government of the day holds veto power. So we are saying that with an independence in the government, and with Guru saying that the elections are coming in so close, that we are telling you that we 3 can tell the government of the day, whichever one that we have to go with, that you need to do things in accordance for the people. What have we got here in San Fernando West? San Fernando West is a dying city. All of what happens in Trinidad and Tobago is in Port of Spain and Chaguanas and other areas. San Fernando West is dying. There is no business. There is no carnival. We have a carnival committee being in San Fernando, and what are they doing? Nothing, except using the telephone number to put on Faris Al-Rawli's invitation. Imagine that. We talk about the People's Partnership. We say that the People's Partnership, no good. We should vote them out. But you have a candidate vying for San Fernando West, and before he gets into government, he is using state resources to get himself into government. Shame. He should walk the walk of shame, we call that. Yeah, shame. But you want the People's Partnership out. We see today that our seniors, our elders, our past prime ministers are not endorsing these two people. Why? Why? Because you know why? They do not feel that they are satisfied that they should be the leaders for tomorrow. And so I want to tell you, before you get into office, you're using state resources. Your political leader should remove the sitting mayor, should remove the person going for San Fernando West. Who is going to pay $1,000 to see Faris when it's at the Royale? Why? We have more pressing issues here. We want to know what you are going to do for San Fernando West. How are you going to improve our lives here in San Fernando West? What your government is going to do for crime. We have seen Kirby Mohammed being missing now for weeks, nearly months, and nobody has an idea where he has gone. We see Dina Sitahal being killed, and we ask every day what is happening with Dina Sitahal. What happened with the Virginia drug bust? What is it? Where are we? Where do we stand on crime? We're looking at two political parties fighting on one another, cat and dog and rape. And what are they telling the people of Trinidad and Tobago? What about the issues in Trinidad and Tobago? What are you all offering us different that the People's Partnership have not offered us? I am asking you to tell us, what are you going to give us? For 4 years and a half, Keith Rowley has been the opposition leader, and I have asked him every time I met him. He came to, we had Prime Minister of Grenada here a couple of months ago, and I remembered, I said to him, you want San Fernando vote. What are you doing for San Fernando? What are you doing for this country? What are your dreams? What do you feel Trinidad and Tobago needs? Nothing. He has not said for the last 4 years until today what he is going to do from this country. And I am asking, why should we vote for the People's Partnership? Why should we vote for the PNM? And as you know, Philip said that he's gotten rid of everyone. Tonight we asked Penelope Beckles to come here and talk. Penelope Beckles is at a stage in her life where she has lost her father and her sister. And that must be a very difficult thing for someone, as well as for a woman of substance, a woman that you know all of us we like. You know that we have a lot of faith in Penelope Beckles. And I tell you that I asked Penelope to come here tonight, and today she told me she could not make it because she is not in the right spirit. Her father, she said to me, worse, her father passed away as they announced that she was not going to get the seat in the area that she was going for, Arima. So I tell you, we have a lot of hurt people on their side, and we are asking, who is going to stand up for us? And I am telling you that we will stand up for you all. We have many other independents that are coming out. We saw this week, Philip, myself, and Errol, we went on Political Capital on Sunday, and we saw Hamid Ghani say that the numbers are rising for the support of independence. And I am telling you, today it is more than 46%. Ask any person that you meet today, who are they going to vote for, and they will tell you they're not going to vote. But if you have the independence, I am telling you, they will come out. We are asking that you spread the word of what we have said, why it is that the independence is so much better. People ask us every time, well, why are you doing it when you have everything that you want? My family asks me that every day, why are you doing it? Talk show hosts ask me that every day. And I say to them, well, if not me, who? I have asked so many people to stand up for this country. I have asked my friend Lindira, I have asked Michaela, I have asked Penelope, I have asked Michael Harris, I have asked many people, if not us, who will stand up for Trinidad and Tobago? So I am telling you here tonight that we are taking the licks tonight. We are taking the licks from everybody on both sides. We are going to stand up for you. We have so much issues here in Trinidad and Tobago. In my entire life, I never knew that Mbakade had a beach. I was privileged to go there this week, and I have been working there for some time. And I can tell you something, those are the people that I want to be around. I have never seen, on our next time we have our meeting, we are going to have a projector, because I want you all to see what we see down there. When I tell you something, the beach is beautiful, it's calm. It is something not in Trinidad. It's been untouched. And the people that are down there, they want a piece of the pie that Philip is talking about. You have a mayor that will pave a road, and the last 3 doors to a building, he paved that because they're the People's Partnership. Where is the representation that the PNM is saying that we so going to give? We have a mayor, a sitting mayor, that paved in Mbakade roads, and because the last 3 doors to a building, those people chose the UNC or the People's Partnership. They paved that. When did we become such selfish people? I heard a lady who I admire, and I have loved to be around my whole life, Lynette Mirage, tell me about San Fernando. I heard a gentleman, Dr. Kangaloo, tell me that in time gone by, there was no division of race of any kind, and that everybody in San Fernando lived as one. And they went to Indian Hindu weddings, and they went to Catholic weddings, and they went to Muslim weddings as one. But here, years after, we are divided by 2 politics, and we are saying the only way to stop that is if we go independent. Today we are seeing homes given out to people, but ask anybody if today they get called for a house. We have people living in Mbakade, 3 sets of family in 1 apartment. Why not give them a house? These people are working so hard for a better life. The people in Palmis and Bel Air and other places in San Fernando West, Mr. Bella, they are struggling to keep their businesses alive. Why? Because nobody's coming to invest in San Fernando. Nobody's opening any businesses in San Fernando. Nobody wants to do nothing in San Fernando. As Philip said, everybody you talk to, you know what they say? We're not coming to San Fernando. Why? There's nothing in San Fernando for us to come down to. Everything is in Port of Spain and Chaguanas. Look at the development in Chaguanas and Port of Spain, even in Derby, compared to the second city with the largest amount of prime ministers and presidents. Look at that. can the business community expect from Faris Al Rowley, who I don't know where he came to fame from? Well, I know, but I want them girls to tell you. I don't know if they have that cue. So I will help them sing it for you. We sing, and here's Johnny. Because I know that before today, many of you never heard of that name, Johnny. That is his real name. He's Johnny Sukaran. And even though he's changed it to Faris Al-Rowley, the prophet of Muhammad, descendant, we are saying to you, Prophet Muhammad descendant, what do you offer people of San Fernando and Trinidad and Tobago? Are you going to take a ministerial position and not an MP position? Will you say, Mr. Al-Rowley, you will not take a ministerial position and you will sit in San Fernando, drive from Port of Spain and come to San Fernando every day to meet with every one of you? We, the independents, are telling you that we are not interested in any ministerial post, and you will find us here, you will find Philip where he is, and you will find Errol and those to come. That if you give us that opportunity, you think about it, how much the independents would be able to control all of the things you do not like, keeping the balances and checks on our government. We have no interest as well as to be a prime minister. None of us wants to be the prime minister. We don't have that experience. We have two very good leaders who we think that can be the prime minister. We have the prime minister here and we have the opposition leader. And we think that either of them can be the good prime minister that we need, and we can help them to develop a better country with you and us as independents. So when people ask Philip and myself and Errol who we working for, we want to tell you we are working for you and not a sitting government or the opposition. Of course, every single day, everybody asks me, who am I working for? I am working for you all, just as Lindira, who is not in office, every single day when she talks to foreign friends, diplomats, and people here in Trinidad, because we work closely with animals alike, and I can tell you they call Lindira all the time consulates. This lady here is a lady that I tell you something, if I was either side of the house, I would take her up, because she is a woman like myself who knows how to be with everybody. She is not the individual like Faris Al-Rowley, only in couplings and pretty shirt and tie. She is a worker, and not a day goes by that Lindira does not call me and say, Joe, the consulate of here, the consulate of there, because as you know, consulates from that are here in Trinidad, the American, the German, the English, they are very worried about how we treat our government, our animals, and our children. And I want to tell you that Lindira was one of the people who helped me, and she is my friend, and I stand with her on many decisions as I stand with my other friends who are standing for you. So I am telling you, Lindira, that you have the best contribution because of who you are. Simple, you have no airs about you. You're just a person like myself. We don't care about what we have, we care about what we can do. And I am calling you to come out, and you come out and serve an area. You come out as you know that the people of Gasperlo, we had a long meeting recently, and the people for that area, I think that is Tabakit, sat me down and said, listen, we want Lindira Udit. And I went to Lindira and I said, Lindira, you know the people of Tabakit wants you to come and listen to them. They know that you have ties in Tabakit, and they know that you could serve them and you will hear. All because they have a temple, a Hindu temple that has not been fixed, and that they went to the minister and asked him to fix it and he didn't. And they have been asking me every day, when is Lindira coming to in that area? But as you know, Lindira is taking a little time off. Just as they have asked Michaela Pandey, when is she coming to Couva North? Just as they have asked Penelope Beckles, when will she come in Arima? And so tonight, you have heard all of the grievances that we all face, similar challenges. We don't see all this billions of dollars where it is going. One thing that I can tell you, and that as Lindira said, we agree to disagree, is that I agree that the Prime Minister that holds the office of the Prime Minister today is a woman who listens. That I can agree on. And she does have compassion. And I am asking her to use this time, Prime Minister, to look deep at the ministers that are in your government. And look well, the people are asking you while you are still Prime Minister to listen to these independents, talk to them, speak to the activists, hear what the people of Trinidad and Tobago find that we need to improve this country, a rich country that we are not seeing the benefits. And so tonight, I want to hand over back to Victoria, who has come from Dubai to help me. She has been with me. We have not slept for weeks. I want to thank all of you. I know there are many of my friends that can't come here for the fear that if they came here tonight, they would lose contracts or they would lose their spaces that they have rented out. I want to tell Kimal, Mr. Manik-chan, thank you. He gave us here this beautiful, all that you see here tonight. They have been, I want to tell you something. We are very sure that we are going to win this seat. Very sure. I want to tell you that not a day goes by that I don't have 2 phones, a scissors, and 3 other lines ringing at the same time from people all over this world. I want to tell you that many years ago, I was privileged to write a story. This was in maybe 2000 or before, about a lady by the name of Hillary Clinton. They were doing a feature on me in the woman's magazine, The Punch. And I remember that I wrote to them that if there was one, I believe that the first female president of the United States would be Hillary Clinton. And I remember when we had Showcom a few years ago, I got a call from the office of the Foreign Affairs, asking me that there were some diplomats that wanted to do a story on gender. And I left my shop in the same clothes, I didn't have the hard hat, and I went to Port of Spain, and there I was, ushered in to meet Hillary Clinton. Imagine, I had a thought that it was her, and so going in that car, I remembered I had so many questions to ask her. And there I was in her room, security passing up and down, and she said to me, the Minister of Foreign Affairs said to me, they wouldn't let me near her. That was the Minister of Foreign, but they want you to come. And when I walked in, I couldn't believe, because here she showed me where I had sent her that way back in about 2000. I had cut it out of the Punch and sent it to her. And she said, I brought this to Trinidad. You're the only person I know here in Trinidad, and I wanted to see you. And I took pictures with her then. With all this mouth I have, I couldn't ask a single question. Her power, her being around her had me spellbound. And it gives me the same feeling. She gave me that same feeling, not her husband, but her, the same feeling I have when I am around women like Lindira, when I'm around Lynette Maraj, when I am around many women, Penelope Beckles. And so I am saying to you that you have chosen right way by coming here. I know that you will share all our thoughts. I know that you will share all our dreams. I know that you know that we can do it. I know that you know Philip can do it. I know that you know Errol can do it. And I know that you know that we have nothing to gain from this. What would we gain from this? Absolutely nothing. As Errol will say, we actually lose in this. I want to tell you though, that if I had thought about this 4 years ago, I would have not had a clientele. However, I will agree, and my workers will agree, my colleagues who actually run my business, who've been there, Nalia, Fernano, Alison, Karen, Sosi, I know that they have really been there for me. And I can tell you they have seen a great raise in business because of this, because people are genuinely happy that we are standing up for them. And I am sure my two brothers will tell you that they have seen and heard a lot of people, and I will tell you it is genuine. If you think, you tell me which one of you have gravitated to Faris Al-Rawli, I will say okay. So with that, I want to hand it back to Victoria. Let her come and say something for you, and then we'll open it up. Thank you very much.
I know you've gotten a lot to think about tonight. You've heard from our very distinguished panel tonight. And as we come to a close to the more formal part of this evening, I would like to just say thank you all again very much for coming. We have a very good crowd here tonight, and you have all come freely to this very open event. And we would now like to thank you again and thank our speakers, and we'd like to welcome you to just enjoy some of the refreshments that we have this evening. But more importantly, we know that we have supporters who want to join us and support us here tonight. So as we close this formal end, we want to come and meet with you. We will exchange our contacts. Remember to go on Facebook and look at our pages, like us, share us, give us any information that you want to give with us at this point in time, and we will take it from there. Thank you again, and do have a blessed evening.
Johnny boy, right?
Sorry.
I understand that. Well, all right. Yeah. Take one from the place. Yeah. Let's see that place.
No, I